is the outfit I was wearing. I walked over, because it's cold outside, this is the Alpine jacket Lynn bought at the local store. So, I walked over to NYPD. I picked Nooch up from, or my son up from school, and then I walked past. I stopped at 111th precinct, and the old crossing guard for Nucci's school was there, and a police officer. And so I corroborated my story. I showed them the video of the alarm in the back. I did not show them the cabinets vibrating, but I did, and so they said that they would send a car. I said, "What for?" And I said, "Is there like a report or like a paperwork or trail or something?" And they're like, "No. If it was a fire alarm in the back courtyard, then it would be FDNY." They said, but they would send a car. And I'm like, if you're not going to take paperwork or a report, why would you bother dispatching or sending a car? I told them that I had called 311, who looped in 911. And again, when I was at the house before I left to get my son, I said to I called 911, well, no, I called 311 to ask what the alarm might be and to report in, because everybody always says 311, 911, whatever. So I tried it. It's never really worked for me, but I tried it. And so 311 patched me in with 911 for some reason. Now, 911 is like the most advertised emergency services. Like, something goes wrong in the neighborhood, they're the people to call. But they're like dispatch. They dispatch medical, fire, or police. So, like seismic vibration and an alarm in a fallout shelter that nobody seems to know what it means. Nobody was equipped to handle that, like in real person, or on 311. I asked 911, I said, "Listen," I said, "do you know who I should, like, I get your 911, but like you're like the most advertised, like top of the whatever for emergency services." He's like, "Well, no, again, it might be a private company." So I'm like, "Private?" I was like, "It's state. It wouldn't, like, I mean, like, let's walk this through. You're 911, you're like the top of the tree." I was like, "I'm just the person who knows nothing on the floor." I was like, "I encounter a problem. They're telling me you're the one to call. You're telling me 911 doesn't handle that kind of emergency. But it is emergent that I alert someone. I just don't know whom. And you're telling me to call back to 311 because 911 doesn't know. But 911 is the advertised, like, go-to personnel on the phone diary if, like, emergency strikes." That's really frightening. I said, "Between you and me," I was like, because you're telling me 911 operator was like, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. It's not us. I mean, we're just..." And I'm like, "That's really scary." I was like, "Well, thanks." I said, "Appreciate the help. What else am I going to do?" So we hung up. So I went to the face-to-face meeting not that I was scheduled, but just on my way, on my routine. So this is what I was wearing on surveillance camera, just so we're clear, for corroborating and surveillance on top of the building. With me talking to humans, and they're really the ones, I mean, they're the police, and they know something called a policy for New York City, supposedly, allegedly. So now, on more important things in real life, other real life, before this phase of whatever this is, in the unrest in the American colonies, there was, when eHarmony first came out, that's EHRMONY, HARMONY on the internet. So it was eharmony.com. You filled out this profile for dating. If you're looking for you're somebody special, which I filled out, and I got a reply, and then I got a phone call, but the person had no photo. So I was really hesitant, but I'm like, it's really the only one. So I met this person in Bohemia, Bohemia, which is just south of Lakeland, off of Ocean. Was it Ocean or Locust? I forget. It might have been a Locust Post. It was wherever CONNETQUOT library is. It was just right outside there. So I met in a parking lot. He was driving, I think, a Jeep, Jeep. I think that's what it was. Like a Grand Cherokee kind of a Jeep. Anyway, so I sat and I spoke with him for just a few minutes. He told me a story which was odd, but now it seems it might have importance. He said that he had a 103-degree fever and almost died in the hospital. But his father was there taking care of him. I was like, all right. And then he said that he might not be able to see me again for a while. And I'm like, did I understand? And I'm like, not really. I mean, like, you were in a hospital and you had a fever and you almost died? I was like, that part I understand.